What's good, guys? A little bit of a different video over here, but one that's very, very exciting for me. Today, I'm going to be building my dream PC. As you can see in this build, we have the Hyte Y60, we got the i9 14900KF, we got a 1000-watt platinum power supply, we got the ASUS ROG Maximus Hero Z790. Yes, sirski. We got the 5070 Ti, we got DDR5 RAM, we got 2 times 16 gigabytes, so that's 32 gigabytes of Trident Z5 RGBs with 7200 megahertz and CL43. We got the Lian Galahad #2 LCD with the SL-INF fans over there, looking very beautiful before it's even unboxed. And we got the two P14 Maxes that I'm going to be putting under the Hyte Y60. And you'll notice that I am missing 3 fans in this build. They haven't arrived yet, but I will be putting that in the video once they arrive. Anyways, let's get started. Okay guys, so up first on what's going to be unboxed is the ASUS ROG Maximus Z790 Hero, the very nice beautiful board that is at the end of its lifespan. But it is very nice with the Wi-Fi 6E. So I'm going to be getting some very good ping, and it's a very good motherboard on top of that, so very nice. So I don't really know how I'm going to unbox this shit while I'm recording because I got one hand on the phone and one hand to dilly-dally, but let's see what I can do here. Alright, so I got me some trusty scissors right here, and let's see if I can cut this shit without fucking something. Oh shit, there's a lot of tape on this shit. Alright, I'll catch you guys in a second. Alright, so I cut open the box. So now, let's see the contents. Ooh, okay, that's a little harder than I thought. Ooh. And there's no motherboard. Alright guys, I catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Nah, I'm just playing. Let's take off this cover and see what's really up though. This is kind of weird. I've never seen motherboard just not be there firsthand. But this must be a really premium ASUS ROG experience. For those who dare. Ho 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 ho. Da 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 da! We got the motherboard. Alright, let me take this shit out before I fucking destroy my $400 motherboard. I'll catch you guys in a second. Alright, so I got the little plastic cover off of the case. And now we can see the very beautiful ASUS ROG Z790 Hero. All in its glory. The very nice, beautiful RGB, whatever the hell screen. And the very nice texture, again, for those who dare. All that shebang. And I actually got a contact frame for this motherboard, which is sitting right over there. And this is my first time using a contact frame, so I hope I don't fuck it up. Yeah. As we dig a little bit deeper into the ROG Z790 Heroes box, you can see we have a few complementary items there on the right side. And taking a deeper look into this pocket, we can see a few spare cables that they generously gave to us. We have the Wi-Fi thingamajig, of course. We also have what appears to be a metal object, which is actually what will hold a small little fan that can cool your DDR5 RAM sticks, which is pretty nice. Also, some more bits and bobs as we take a look over here, and a few replacement parts, as you can see on the bottom left. And you can see I'm frantically looking for the complimentary keychain, which I cannot seem to find, and you can hear this.
Where the fuck is my keychain, man?
Yep. And as I almost destroy the box, we can see that on the right side of the case, after taking this little thingamajig out, we can find our keychain. We have a nice little key card from ROG, it appears. In addition to the various stuff that ROG has given us, we also have an expansion card that allows you to attach more Gen 5 NVMEs to your motherboard should you need, so that is also pretty cool. Yet again, ROG decided to give us a nice little surprise of a 16GB USB stick, which can be used to update the BIOS or perhaps store some sus files. Moving on, we'll take a look back at my old PC because I actually need to take out the old SSDs and transfer them onto the new motherboard. I had previously purchased these well in advance because I knew I was going to build this killer PC. Moving on to the CPU side of things, I decided to choose the i9-14900KF because honestly, I'm more of an Intel guy personally, but more than just an Intel guy, I also do photo editing and video editing. So basically, I do some multitasking sort of tasks per se alongside my gaming activities, and I believe that this CPU would be much better suited for me. And not to mention, I got a pretty good deal on this CPU, so had to cop that, you know what I'm saying? A little side note that I wanted to mention was that when I was looking for different CPU and motherboard combos, I noticed that Intel CPUs often had way better looking motherboards and way better motherboards in general at a much more affordable price. Putting aside the politics, one thing that we can all agree on is that contact frames are the way to go. So for this build, I decided to buy my first ever contact frame to ensure better temps and to perhaps squeeze out a little bit of performance when overclocking. Moving on to the most eye-catching part of this build, we have our DDR5 RAM, which I decided to go for 2x16, so that is 32 gigabytes of RAM in total, and the speeds are where it's at. It's 7,200 megahertz at CL34, so blazing fast and really expensive. Please make sure to like and subscribe so I can make some money back, please. And here's the RAM unboxed in all of its glory right over here. Put that right next to the premium cover for the Z790. And looks like we got a sticker with a whole bunch of Yap sessions on it. We'll leave that over there. We got a nice, beautiful G.Skill sticker. Very nice. And of course, we have the RAM right here. And here are the timings if anybody's interested. Very, very nice. Did cost an arm and a leg and then some, but we got it. Now that we have unpacked most of the core components, we will get started on the Bob the Builder portion of this video. And again, here's the motherboard in all of its glory. And as you can see, CPU socket is looking very nice, so I'm very excited. So let's get that CPU in with the contact frame. Had a little bit of a hiccup here and there, maybe a little slight heart attack here and there as well, but we got it on, and now it's time to put on the RAM. Before I go ahead and install the RAM, I want to talk about the Z790 Hero. It delivers a 20+1 VRM, DDR5 support, PCIe 5.0 with up to 5 M.2 slots, Wi-Fi 6E, and Thunderbolt 4, plus AI overclocking and advanced cooling for high-end future-proof builds. It also adds a toolless Q release, which helps with the installation of GPUs, premium Supreme FX audio with an ESS DAC, and full custom loop support. This is just the tip of the iceberg, but the Z790 Hero has a whole lot more features. Moving on to the installation of the very beautiful RAM that I have purchased, I have decided to put it into the A2 and the B2 slots because that is what was recommended on the Z790 Hero for dual channel RAM. So if any of you guys have this motherboard, definitely do that too. I also like to mention that I had several heart attacks while building this shit. Here's the RAM installed on the motherboard. I have decided to take some B-roll footage just like National Geographic to try and help you guys understand the same feeling I had when I first put these RAM sticks inside. I mean, just wow. Trident Z5 RGBs just look beautiful and very stunning in this motherboard. So I really hope with this footage you guys can try and capture the same feeling I had when I installed these sticks. Anyway, I'll just shut up now so you guys can soak this up. Enjoy. Now that I am done glazing the RAM, let's go ahead and put this piece of art into the case. And here it is, guys, the Hyte Y60 or the Hyte Y60, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely stunning case. When I was picking out cases, I mean, this one just really stuck out to me personally. and I just absolutely love the 3 side fan mod that people do in this case, because even though it's an ATX case, it's like low-key big and small at the same time, but when you put those 3 fans, it feels like you're putting something big and something small. Pause. Anyway, we have 2 USBs, a USB-C at the bottom, and we have 3 complementary fans that come with the case. These are stock. You have 1 on the exhaust and 2 at the bottom for intake, but they are kind of tapped, so we're going to be replacing them with 2 P14 Maxes at the bottom for intake and 1 Lian SL-120 Infinity fan for the exhaust on the rear. And here's the case all opened, sticking my hand in there to show you I'm a big boy and I can do all this myself. And as you can see, this case is very spacious and very roomy, and I just can't wait to tear this up with my shitty cable management. And here's the vertical GPU mount that comes stock with the Hyte Y60, very nice. And as you can see here, I unscrewed that 1 screw that holds this vertical GPU mount, that way I can actually insert the motherboard into the case. And as you can see, this is the box that was shown in the case. It comes with the motherboard screws, and it comes with some zip ties for any cable management or anything you really want to do with those. And as you can see, it also comes with a cable that I will definitely not be using. Now, first things first, we're going to move to the bottom of the case, which you will see me struggling to open up this little dust tray. Nice, good job, you opened it. And after we open these, it will reveal the 2 bottom side intake fans that Hyte so kindly gave to us. And as you can see, that's the tray right over here. And we're going to be replacing these 2 fans with the 2 P14 Maxes. So those 2 stock fans are 2 120mm, but this case allows 2 140mm fans, which is much better and allows for much more airflow. Now, taking a look at these fans, they seem to be kind of cheap, but I mean, who can blame them really? And these are the specs right over here if anybody is interested. Very nice. Now I have gone ahead and taken off the stock fans that Hyte gave us, and I'm going to be unboxing the P14 Maxes. Here are the specs if anybody is interested. These are the ones that I have got for this build, and I've heard some other people have used this in their other Hyte Y60 builds too, or just any other case in general, and I've heard very positive reviews about this. And as you can see, this is what it will look like in the case. I'm going to be putting 2 of them in here, of course, and the other one's right over there. And as I was trying to install these 2 fans, I noticed that the screws that came with the previous fans weren't long enough for the P14 Maxes because those screws were designed for a 120mm fan. However, these are 140s, so they are bigger in width, therefore those screws will not fit on these ones. So I had to rummage through the house and find some screws that might be able to fit, and I decided instead of looking for longer screws, I might actually look for a shorter screw that I can put in between these 2 little holes of the P14 fans, and then I got myself a thin but long screwdriver that can screw in those screws from the other side and make sure to fasten the fans in, if you catch my drift. Now, as you can see here, I've installed the motherboard with all the screws and the CPU cooler screws, all the goddamn screws. I do not want that shit to be falling out while I'm mid-gaming, and I made sure to fasten those real tight, just to make sure. And I've also decided to give you guys a current room tour of how everything is going, because shit is getting hectic, I tell you. Now for some more B-roll action again, before we segue into the more nitty-gritty part of this build. And I just want to take this time to thank everybody who has subscribed to my channel and everybody who has been just so kind and supportive of me. Man, I really appreciate this. And to you guys who are watching this video right now who are not subscribed, you're a bumbleclad. Obviously, I'm just kidding, but I love you guys seriously, and thank you so much. And I hope with this video I could possibly change your mind. Anyway, moving on from the sob story, we'll move on to the CPU cooler that I have chose for this build, which is the Galahad II LCD. It's the 8th gen Aztec version, which means it will be able to handle this very beefy i9-14900KF that I have chose for this build. Moving on to the case side of things, after removing the top part of the Hyte Y60, it exposes this little top rack that Hyte incorporated into their PC case, which is very nice. Basically what you do is you unscrew it just like so, and by doing so you are able to install your radiator and fans much easier than if this was just a stationary object. And boy, I'm telling you, when I was doing this myself, I was like, wow, they really thought of doing this. And I'm like, damn, it's Hyte we're talking about. Of course they did something like this. So definitely, if you guys are getting this case, you will enjoy this nice little feature here. Now it is time to install the actual pump to the CPU, which I did off camera, just like so, because it was a little bit tricky, so I wanted to make sure I didn't mess anything up. And with my CPU cooler came a complimentary controller, which I can attach all of my RGB headers onto and make sure all of my fans are working nice and smooth together. Now for the last couple of steps, I had to install the PSU, which again has my lovely little cable management that you're just about to see. And I have done the 3-fan mod. I had to do a little bit of DIY 5-minute crafts myself, and what I decided to do is I used those little doohickey thingamajigs that usually come in packaging, and as you can see, I'm holding one up. For example, those ones work just fine. And what I did was I fastened them from the fan to the actual case. As you can see, there's some metal bits and bobs and little holes sticking out. And same for the fans, there's some little lines for structural support, which I used to fasten back onto the case. And additionally, just to add a little bit of flair to make it look like I know what I'm doing, I used the old screws from the Hyte Y60 fans and I installed them onto the Lian fans, and then I fastened the fans onto the screws.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I thought that was a pretty nice touch. Now, as you can see back here at my beautiful little cable management setup that I got going on here, I used a few Velcro straps because they came with the power supply, which was very nice to see. And I have a few things hanging off the ceiling like Tarzan, and a few more things shoved in there, and a few more things tucked. And I used a couple more of those cables that come in those packaging just to make sure everything is nice and secure and tight. That will be all for the building portion of this video. After assembling everything together, I gave the computer its first boot and everything looks good. To be honest, I had a few complications when running into that first boot, like I had to completely update the BIOS since it appears that it was about 3 or 4 years old, so I had to change that. But after installing Windows, I gave it a quick benchmark to make sure everything was running up to speed, and everything was good. Now we're officially at the end of the video, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this different kind of video, and if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel already, be sure to go down below and hit that like and that big old subscribe button, and maybe I might consider not coming after you. Obviously, I'm just playing, guys, it's just a joke, but seriously, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If not, I really hope this might have helped you in some way, because this was a totally new experience for me. I never built a PC from the ground up, but this was definitely quite an experience.